Hi and welcome to Taraji Eco Farm. Today we are going to share with you briefly an example of how we are trying to combat the effects of global warming and climate change on our farm. The last 1 month has been very dry. We've not received a drop of rain on the farm. You can actually see from the grass around here. So it's a challenge for us because we need to have vegetables and other crops on the farm throughout the year. So when there's no water for that length of time, it's really a challenge for us. So today I'm going to show you one of the ways that I researched online, and I came up that and I saw someone making these very simple raised gardens or jerrycan gardens, and you're going to implement that on the farm. So these things are very cheap. You're going to use locally available material. Uh, these jerrycans are very cheap. They go for about 150 shillings each at the local market. You're also going to use a half-inch pipe because what you're trying to solve here is earlier in our farming activities here, we use sacks to do vertical gardens. However, we are really disappointed in two ways. One, the sacks get worn out after a while because they're exposed to the sun. And secondly, the soil in the sacks gets very hard when it's dry. So when it rains again, the water does not seep through. So today's project is going to deal with those challenges and going to give us a better way of having harvest vegetables throughout the season, whether it's raining or not. And also, it's going to be long lasting. These jerrycans last longer than the sacks. So enjoy today's video. Yeah. So now we have our 4 jerrycans, 20-liter jerrycans. We've already cut the top part, as you can see, and they're very clean inside. They've already been cleaned. You can see. So now the next part is we're going to make holes on the sides. We're going to make, I think we'll make 7 holes first below here, and then another 7 on top. If there's space, we'll put others here, but if there's no space, we're just going to have those 14 of them. But I'm thinking we might get at least 21 of them here, or 20 or 21 of them. So that's the next part. Then once we do the holes, you're going to open up those holes, so we leave some space where the plant will come out once we planted it. So the next step now that you're doing is to make the holes, and then I'll explain to you the other step after that. So one thing I've realized the most difficult thing is to make the first bottom holes, because on the bottom part the jerrycan is quite strong. However, you can fit between 6 and 7 holes depending on how big the holes are. This one I've done 6. This one we actually had 8. I think the best is 6 or 7, so that you give sufficient space for all the plants to flourish. The other important thing to note is that these holes like alternate. You see the first holes, they are straight like this. So when you're coming to the next level, you don't put at the same, what to call it? You don't align with the hole down here. You put in between the 2 holes. So you can see there's one here, and then this one is in between them, the next level. And the other time I'm coming now, I'm putting the third line, I'm going to put it in line with this below one. So they're not, the next immediate ones are not aligned to each other. We've already made the holes all round where the plants are going. We're going to plant our plants, and you're actually going to have 2 of them like this. You're going to set 2 of them like this, 2 each, and plant something different. One of them will have sukuma wiki, and then the other one will see whether we're going to put managu or which other vegetable we're going to put. Now, after you've done these holes, next thing is to put the pipes for water, and one for going to put kitchen waste, which is going to act as fertilizer. So we have a pipe here which is I think it's 1.5 inch. So we're going to cut according to size, and then put 2 of them inside. One will be slightly taller or longer, which is going to be where we're going to put water and water the plants through. And the next one will be a bit shorter, and this is what we're going to act as the pipe for fertilizer, where you put any kitchen waste. You have water, banana peelings, watermelon leftovers, or any other kitchen waste that can decompose. going to be putting that inside here, inside the other pipe, so that we always fertilize the soil inside here. So that's our next step now. Yeah, so now you can see we've already cut our pipes and our jerrycans are ready. However, we made a small mistake. We thought this thing is easy to make, but you have to be really attentive as you're doing it. So we wanted to do two of them together, stack them together, two. Unfortunately, we've cut the pipes differently. So we're going to have one set of two together and then another set of one each individually. And you can see we cut the pipes now according to size. On this one, we have the longer pipe. It's going to be bringing in water. And then we have the shorter one, which is going to be our inlet for fertilizer. That's we're going to put here kitchen waste, as I informed you. So that one is complete, not yet complete. I just want to show how we are going to put in the pipes. And then this other one, they're going to be individual ones. So we have one pipe for water and one pipe for water, and the other pipe for our manure. So the next step is to make holes on these pipes so that they can let in the water, and also the other one can also let in some of the manure that we're going to put in. So you're going to make holes all over this pipe. That is from, let me just show you that. Yeah, from around here, where it's going to be below the soil, to the bottom part on all of them. So that's our next task, and then you go to the soil. Yeah, so basically the hardest task I think here is making holes in these pipes, and we don't have the right tools to do it. We're just going to use what is locally available, and you can see here we have a nail, is it 3-inch? I think so, and a pliers. So we're going to light a fire, and then basically what we're going to do is we put the nail in the fire. Once it's red and hot, we're going to make holes all around all these pipes. So that's our next task, and it's quite hot, so I might not be able to film and show you exactly where we're doing at the fire, but I'll try to get a few clips, although I don't think the picture is going to be as good quality because of the light. It's very hot. It's been very hot here in the last, I think, 1 month, and it's actually very difficult to film. But let's do our next task, and I'm going to show you as much as I can. So now it's day 2. We had an issue yesterday, so we had to stop, and that is we didn't have the let me call them the lids or the covers for the pipes, and we tried to check in the shops around, in the hardware around. We didn't find any that can cover this pipe. So we've chosen to improvise, and we're going to use the covers for the what are called, the covers for the jerrycans to cover the pipes from below. And this because we don't want all the water to flow out again. Once you put in water, you don't need to flow out. I want the water to be as long as possible so that it can flow into the soil around it, and so that the plants can get the water. So we're going to improvise and use these ones for now. So we have everything ready. We have the jerrycans ready and done. We have the pipes, and you can see they all have holes around, so we can let in water to the soil. All of them have holes around. And also the other thing is that we have to put in the pipe that you're going to use for water, we need to use to put cotton wool inside so it can slow the flow of water, so the water has time to sink into the soil. Yeah, so we have everything here. We have the cotton wool, we have the pipes, we have the jerrycans. Now the next phase is to put the pipes inside into the individual, but this time I should call them gardens now, vertical gardens, the individual gardens. and then the next part is to do the soil. So I'm just going to show you how we're going to do this, how we're going to put in the pipes. So we have this one. This is for water, and then you have the next one for the toilet. Yes. Then you have this one. So you're going to put in the kitchen waste. It's going to act as some organic manure. So basically this is done. All you need to do is we're going to remove, first of all, fill the below part with soil and put this one on top, then fill it with soil. So this one will look like this. It's not standing up straight. That one will look like that. And then the next ones, these are individual jerrycans. So I can put other things to note is that the pipes that you're going to use to put kitchen waste in, you're not putting any cotton wool inside, because you're going to put the kitchen waste and push it up to the below part, so it can slowly decompose and flow, and the nutrients can flow into the soil. So this one you don't need to put any cotton wool, but the one for water has to have cotton wool inside to slow the flow of water. This is our compost pit. This is where we throw a lot of things from the kitchen, from the farm. Sometimes also throw rabbit droppings inside here. You can see a bit of them. I think we'll show you that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig this soil. This is the soil you're going to use, manure, and then a bit of soil that has sawdust, so that it's not going to be very compact. Remember, we initially had done some vertical gardens using sacks, and the mistake we made is that we put soil with no carbon inside, and after, when it was during the dry period, it would dry so hard and it becomes like a stone. So there was no way during the dry season things wouldn't grow. So what you're doing now is you want to put soil that can easily retain moisture, and also soil that can easily retain moisture for a longer period. That's why we mix all these things. We have a bit of a bit of trees or grass or vegetation here. Then we have a bit of chicken manure, and also rabbit manure, rabbit droppings. So if you can see the soil over here, good soil should contain a bit of some carbon in it. I wish I had the other soil that has no carbon at all. I would show you the difference. But you see, it's not rained here for almost now a month, but this one still has some moisture in it. But if you go to the rest of the farm, very dry. Yeah. So I'm going to show you, we are at the part that now we need to put in the soil. I'm going to show you, we have a soil here from our compost, which is very nice, has a bit of moisture inside, and has some carbon inside. And I want to show you some worms. The way you want to know your soil is healthy, you can see there's oil life in it. Like if you can come close, you can see like here now we have a worm inside here, which means the soil is alive and it's very fertile. Yeah. And then you have a bit of sawdust over here. You're going to mix with this soil, so that remember, as I explained earlier, we don't want the soil to become very compact when it's dry, like we did with our sacks. So this sawdust is going to help it retain moisture within it. And so what you do when you get the soil from your compost, you need to sieve it, because there's a lot of sticks and stones inside, and you don't want that in your garden. So what I'm going to do now is sieve, and we have an improvised sieve over here, which is a chicken wire mesh. You can see all the big particles, the stones and the sticks are being retained at the top, and the fine soil is going on side. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Our soil, that is already mixed with sawdust. Now just remaining is to put it inside here, and this is very simple. So just like that, we have a jerrycan garden. You can see now we have the soil inside. We have the two pipes, one for water, one for kitchen waste, which is going to act as compost as it decays. The other important part is it needs to be covered from below. That's what I'm doing here, so that the water does not just run out, and also the whatever you put the kitchen waste does not just drop down. Now that one is okay, covered. Now remember the other important thing I said, we need to put cotton wool in the pipe that is going to carry water, so it flows down it slows down the flow of water, so that the water has enough time to seep into the soil. So the pipe here on my left is that's where the water is going to go in through, and I'm just putting in the cotton wool, and I'll use a stick to push it down. Yes, so this is the final part of adding cotton wool. And remember, the purpose of cotton wool is to slow down the flow of water, so that the water gets time to seep into the soil surrounding it. I'm just going to put in the last bit. All these already have cotton wool. Yeah, now up there we are ready. We put in remember we put in soil mixed with sawdust and compost. We have our pipes in. We have one pipe for kitchen waste, which is going to act as the fertilizer or the manure. We have one pipe for water. The pipe for water has cotton wool to slow down the flow of water, but the pipe for kitchen waste manure doesn't have cotton wool, because we just be putting in the kitchen waste, whether it's banana peelings, tomatoes, onions, whatever comes from the kitchen, and push it inside here, and then push it to the bottom, and it's going to decompose slowly and feed the soil, give soil nutrients to the soil. So now the remaining part here is we are actually near the end of it. The remaining part is to now water this soil that is already here, to make it a bit moist, so that we are able to plant our vegetables or crops, whatever we're going to put in. This particular this combination here of 2 jerrycans has about 21 holes. These are 21 holes. Those are 42 holes. So you can, I think this one we're going to put in a sukuma wiki, which is what do you call it here? It's not kale. I'm forgetting the English word, but you're going to put here skuma, local known as skuma, and you have 42. We'll have 42 seedlings, or 42 seedlings. 42 seedlings is enough to feed, for example, like my own family, which is only 4 people. We can harvest that maybe twice. 21 of them each for one meal, the other 21 each for the other meal. These two, we're going to decide what to plant in them. We are thinking we do traditional vegetables, maybe managu or most likely managu. We're going to plant in these two. Then we have an extra one, which this one you're not putting any pipe inside because the soil is already mixed with sawdust and it's nice. This one is going to have several plants for carrots. We have holes below where the water can seep through. So this one is just going to have carrots inside here. And you can see, so now we go to the next step. Before we plant is watering these jerrycans so that the soil becomes a little moist. So it's going to be easier to plant. And the idea here is that once all the containers have the soil is a bit wet. Now going forward, we'll not be watering from this side. We'll just be putting. I'm going to show you. We have one of these recycled bottles here. We're putting water inside here, and then we just put it like this, so the water seeps in slowly. Remember, we put in the cotton wool, so the water seeps in slowly over a period of time. So we don't have to spend every time watering it. But for now, for the first time planting, we have to make sure the soil is moist and it has sufficient water. So we use a lot of we do a lot of recycling of like plastics on the farm. Now you can see that's what I'm using to water here. You want this water to seep to the below part. You have to make sure the soil is quite moist before we plant anything there. Now the beauty of this soil that we've made here, that we've mixed compost, soil, and sawdust, its water seeps in nicely, and then it's able to retain water. You can see from, let me say from this end, you put water on the top, but it's already reached down here. You can see my finger is already water. So this soil is perfect for this sort of farming. These plants. So the good thing is that we put the pipe with the cotton wool inside, so the water moves very slowly. So what you do once you have this out on your farm and you've already planted your crops, you just take a plastic bottle and just put it up like this. So the water just seeps out slowly and goes into the soil. Yeah. So finally, we have a final product. It's been 2 days of doing this, and I explained why it's taken us 2 days. But you can actually see now we have skooma. We decided to plant skooma in all of them. You can see it's planted. We have a total of about 25 plants, and then this one be about 50 plants at 70 something, plus this one another 25. So you have close to 100 plants here, which can feed comfortably our family of 4. But also the other thing maybe to point out is that the reason we decided to do this is it's been very dry. It's been very dry here. It's been almost a month of no rain, and without a proper source of water, and we are dependent on rainfall for farming, it's very difficult to have vegetables throughout. And so, as I also had explained earlier, that we initially started using sacks, and I explained why we moved from the sacks, because the soil was becoming very hard. And now we've settled on this. Now we focused on the jerrycans, and I want to quickly just show you before we finish the type of soil that we have inside here, and the type of soil that we initially used on. And you can actually see this soil here that is actually the actual land now is very bare. There's no organic matter and there's no carbon matter in it. There's nothing, there's no life in it, as opposed to this one now that you can see has a bit of moisture in it, has a bit of carbon matter in it. The first time we used sacks to plant sukuma wiki, we plant in sacks, we used this soil and put a bit of sawdust. It was not sufficient. So when it's dry like this, it's been for the last 1 month, it becomes very dry and the roots cannot even find water inside there. And when it rains, the water does not even seep to the below part or the middle part. That's why we've had these ones now. I'm sure now these ones are perfect. We can always put water through here, and always putting water through here, and it goes seeps into the soil. The plants are able to access it. We're going to put kitchen waste through here, and it's going to decompose and act and be the manure for the plants. So yeah, that's it for today. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and we're going to show the progress of how this sukuma wiki progresses as it grows. We're going to show the progress and even when you harvest it. But yeah, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. We hope if you're staying somewhere where we have an issue with water too, this is something you can practice. It's very easy. You can actually do it yourself at home as we've shown you, and you'll get a lot of vegetables from it. We have a new section on our YouTube channel where we call them Shamba Talks, where we discuss everything to do with farming and what you're doing here and agribusiness and all that. Please feel free to watch, give us your comments, share with your friends. And let's keep this family of Taraji farm growing.